I want to ask you, in Quebec City last week, a white right-wing terrorist opened fire on a mosque filled with innocent men, women, and children. 6 people were killed. President Trump has not said or tweeted one public word about this. You want to talk about ignoring terrorism? Why hasn't the president offered his sympathy to our neighbors in the north?
I know he's sympathetic to any loss of life. It's completely senseless, and it needs to stop regardless of who is lodging the attack. We of course are very sad about loss of life here, and he is talking about trying to stop terrorism and people who want to do harm to this country. And I'm sure in the case of our neighbors to the north, I'm glad that the Prime Minister of Canada is coming here next week. Excuse me. I'm sure they'll talk about that if he's coming soon, as I understand. But the fact is that I will ask him. He doesn't tweet about everything. He doesn't make a comment about everything. But I can tell you that the entire point that I do think has been misinterpreted many places about why he wants extreme vetting, in this case temporary and through 7 very narrowly prescribed countries that the Obama administration, President Obama's administration, and Congress thought needed more, quote, serious screening. He is doing that in response to what he sees and he hears in his briefings as the advance and the continued threat of terrorist acts, not unlike the one that you're citing to our friends in the north. And of course, put us on record as always being sad about this as a senseless loss of life.
He tweeted when there was that attack at the Louvre Museum where nobody was killed. I don't understand why he wouldn't tweet when 6 Canadian citizens were murdered, except for the fact that the undercover document that the White House distributed the other day, last night rather, also did not mention any attacks other than those committed by Muslim terrorists. And obviously radical Islamic terrorism is a big problem, but there are all sorts of kinds of horrific terrorism that take place. We saw some of that in South Carolina recently. And I guess the question is, are these victims any less dead than the ones killed by Islamic radical terrorists?
No, not at all. And of course, Jake, you're right. If you look back at Orlando, Omar Mateen was born in this country, and that was an incredible, unspeakable tragedy, 49 innocent lives taken.